Welcome to Golden Drop, everybody. My name is Sharon McDonald, and I'm really happy to be your host today. We're going to talk about skin, and this call is about these different little problems we have and the essential oils that go with it. And this particular essential oil is actually one of my very favorite. It was the essential oil that really moved me in a direction to turn my head and look at essential oils seriously, on a everything level, right? So we're going to talk about an essential oil that helps with wrinkles. It supports the body with pain. It helps support the body with stretch marks. It helps the body. Does anybody know what this oil might be? It helps repair all kinds of stuff in the body, supporting the body's ligaments, tendons, cartilage, scar tissue. And it comes from a teeny tiny flower that is nicknamed in Croatia as Immortal. Does anybody have any idea what essential oil I might be talking about today? Just open your mic and say it, shout it out. Okay, no brave takers. We're going to talk about Helichrysum. Good job! So we are going to talk about Helichrysum today. And Helichrysum, you can see this little teeny tiny bottle. When I saw the price of $69 when this was July, August, and in September is when I finally started using it after Labor Day. And by the time October came, I had a brand new bone. And I have a friend who's a podiatrist, and he said, yeah, but you can't determine if that was just spontaneous growth. And I looked right at him and I said, listen, honey, I was non-weight bearing. I was doing stimulus. I was doing all kinds of things to be able to try to get this bone to grow. It did nothing until I started using this essential oil. So no one's going to be able to tell me any different that this didn't give my body what it needed. So I used this and birch, and we're going to talk about Helichrysum specifically today. We're not going to talk about birch. But this is a very, very good essential oil to support the body. Like I said, for those pregnant mamas, if you want an essential oil in your toolbox, it's really awesome for stretch marks and maybe some of that melasma that will come on your face. And, you know, for those of us like myself that are inching towards 50 and maybe you've got a little bit extra wrinkles going on and you want to support that and really kind of help smooth out the skin and give this skin a little bit more of that collagen. This is a very, very good essential oil for that. Another toolbox memo for you, athletes, anyone with kids, anybody with athletes. If you're an athlete, this is your essential oil because this is really good for nosebleeds. I mean, like this and frankincense should be in every athlete's kit, because it's good for shock. It supports shock, nerve damage, and pain relief, stops bleeding immediately. And it has a little interesting side effect for people who are maybe addicted to alcohol. It can really alleviate and help them clear that addiction by using that over the abdomen. It's a very interesting essential oil in that way. One of our dear friends came to me with psoriasis really, really bad. And I said, you know what, if you put this lovely essential oil called Helichrysum on that psoriasis with some lotion, I think that you're going to see this clear up. And it really does a beautiful job of clearing it up. The funny thing with psoriasis is, you know, psoriasis comes from the gut oftentimes, and it's an imbalance in the body. And so it's manifesting through the skin, but it really got rid of, like, he wouldn't wear shorts and he had it all over his hair. He kept his hair a specific length because he didn't want anybody to see. And it really helped that. Some people find relief from varicose veins using Helichrysum and tinnitus. So you just apply it behind the ear. Many people find that they can get support from that ringing in the ears by applying it behind the ears regularly. Now, one thing I want to say about all essential oils, that if you take on a continuum, if you've had a problem for 6 years the rule of thumb is it will probably take you 6 months to overcome that. If you've had it for 6 months, it will take you about 6 weeks to overcome that. And if you've had it for 6 weeks, it might take about 6 to 7 days to be able to help you start to kind of see some improvement. And that's just kind of a rule of thumb that I would like everybody to write down and remember. Essential oils, you know, I remember when I first started using them, I thought to myself, you know, for me, it was more important to have something natural than it was to go to something chemical, because I knew that essential oils specifically would work with my body's chemistry to be able to support it so that my body could do the job that it was meant to do. And I knew that medications didn't really do that. It's kind of more like a Band-Aid. And it's not that I'm against medications, because I'm not. Because I do feel like there are some instances where we do need medication and we do need that. And I'm all for it. But I think that when we can combine the two together, we really get a beautiful support in this system. Now, I first of all wanted to know, do you guys have any questions about anything I've talked about? Any kind of like, well, how do I do this? What do I do? Any questions? Because this comes really natural to me because I've been using this for so long, and I had such a great impact with this essential oil that I'd love to help you understand this a little bit more. So does anybody have anything that they have a question about? Okay. Anything in the chat, Renee? Nothing? Okay. All right. So I'm going to move on. So Immortelle, I remember when I researched this for the very first time, I remember that this was like the Immortelle. They call it Immortelle because it's like the essential oil that will keep you immortal. And that's what they say, because it really supports, like I said, cartilage, tendons, you know, ligaments, old scar tissue. It really kind of helps the body just rid that away. Keloid scarring. You just apply it. I used this for, 2 years over my cesarean scar. Because it is so supportive, and it relieved a lot of those issues that I was having. I also used it on my lower back because I had scar tissue that had wrapped around to my spinal column, and as it would break away, it would tweak my back, you know. And so once I started doing that, I didn't have those issues. Another little side effect for people that have herniated discs, like this is a chiropractor's dream, essential oil, because it will really help their clients support their bodies and be able to get the movement that they want out of their adjustments, and to be able to help the body come back into alignment, decrease that inflammation, especially when used with copaiba. I wanted to be able to talk a little bit about, before we close up shop today, about how this on an emotional level, I use this lovely book called, it's from Daniel MacDonald, and it is called Emotions and Essential Oils. And Helichrysum is the oil for pain. Okay, so I wanted to just read this really quickly because I love to bring in the emotional aspects. So Helichrysum is an amazing healer of pain. It aids the walking wounded, those with a history of difficult life circumstances, trauma, self-destruction, loss, or abuse. These individuals need the powerful spiritual support that Helichrysum offers. It gives strength and endurance to the wounded soul who must keep on living despite past difficulties. One of the last things that it says that I really love about this, just as the phoenix dies and rises from its ashes, so might an individual be raised from turmoil. Helichrysum lends its warrior spirit to that which may face adversity, and courage and determination. It brings hope to the most discouraged soul and life to those that need rebirth. And that is really meaningful to me, because I thought, isn't that interesting that this is kind of my life story, right? Rising above. I might fall, I might fail, I might have trauma and heartache, but I always rise like a phoenix. And for me, it's, you know, one of my strengths is being able to connect things, right? And it comes very easy to me, but that's one of my top 5 strengths. is connectedness. And for me, I'm like, I lived out in Phoenix, right? Like for 20 years. And isn't that interesting that I would live out there, and that was where I was introduced to Helichrysum, which is kind of my life story, and how the two blend together and really have been the fabric of my life. And so I wanted to share with you some of the companion oils that you can use for diffusing, or maybe making a roller bottle remedy that you can use for this very spiritual experience. The Hope blend is beautiful to blend with this. The Soothing blend, which is deep blue, ginger, wintergreen, lime, Siberian fir, and peppermint. Okay, so those are some companion oils that you can use with this. So I just wanted to thank every single one of you guys. You know, my passion is to be able to connect the hearts and minds of people all over the world back to traditional remedies that you can use out of your garden, and these beautiful essential oils that just act like this very big gift from the earth, because that's what they are. And these plant spirits are so powerful to be able to really help us rise above and beyond anything that might come our way. And for me, my whole philosophy has been, let's simplify the process of healing for people so that they don't think it's wonky, they don't think it's weird. And the best way to do that is to pay it forward and always open this beautiful bottle and share a drop or two. So for me, it has become very easy for me to share this. And with doTERRA's 25% off retail as a wholesale customer, you know, there's just no better way than to do this. And then when I purchase essential oils for myself, I get an additional percentage back. And I want other people to be able to know that and feel that. And so I would just invite you, if you are watching this on replay or here and you don't understand the whole process, just remember that doTERRA is not a direct sale company. doTERRA is truly a network marketing company where person to person, you share these beautiful experiences, offer opportunities for people to learn how to help their needs in their family and themselves. And that can only be done by word of mouth, right? In experiential healing, right? Where your friend says, hey, I think that I have a solution for that, right? This is what worked for my family. And so by paying it forward, by opening your mouth and opening these bottles, you can find relief for people who have been looking and they've been on their knees asking for this solution. So I would just encourage you, if you don't understand that process, you know, that you ask and you get some help. And if you don't understand the purchasing process of how do I get these oils in my home, I know that many of you don't want to sell. That's fine, because that's not the way doTERRA is set up. It's set for consumers to purchase and use essential oils and have someone who will teach them. So I want to thank every single one of you for being here, and on your replay, tell me where you're at, and if you've ever heard of Helichrysum, how are you using it? And if there's any other questions that you might have about the usage of it, drop them below. Thank you so much for being here with us. Have a great day. Bye.